the question. Okay. And in this question, they are asking what is oxidized and what is the oxidizing agent? This is your reaction. Okay. So I'm going to check first SO2 and then I would be checking Cr2O72 minus. So SO2 is changing into SO4. SO2 is changing into SO4. So increase in oxygen. So means increase in oxygen. Increase in oxygen means that it is oxidized. Increase in oxygen means it is oxidized. And I would say that SO2 is oxidized. So what about this one?
Sir,
Loss
is the
of
answer B?
oxygen. Uh, no, no, no. So this is loss of oxygen. Loss of oxygen means that it's getting reduced. It's getting reduced. And gain of oxygen means it's getting oxidized. So SO2 is oxidized. It may be A, it may be B. Of course, A is correct. Of course, A is correct because Cr2O72 minus is getting reduced. Something which gets reduced is an oxidizing agent. A is correct. And what about this one? Question number 17.
Sir, is the answer C?
Uh, Again, this is an acid-base reaction. It's a neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction is not a redox reaction. So it's not a redox. If this is not a redox reaction, so how can I say which reaction of hydrochloric acid is a redox reaction? Hydrochloric acid is involved, but this is acid, this is base. All oxides are basic. All metal oxide. All metal oxide. So this C is incorrect, except C.
Sir, is it A?
What did you say? A. Again, this is an acid-base reaction. This is an acid-base reaction. Acid, base. This is not a redox reaction. Then remaining one is B and D. Again, B is not a redox reaction because this is acid, this is base. Okay, this is acid, this is base. Then we have to check D. Of course,
So,
D is
sir, in
correct,
the
but how the
equation,
D?
oxygen shouldn't be present.
Sorry.
Oxygen shouldn't be present in the reaction or in the equation.
Uh, first of all, you have to identify whether in your reaction acid bases are present or not. So, what is the identity of a base? In a base, you can see O or OH or CO3. But, but metal, metal, metal. If these things are present in a compound, you can say this is a base. So, of course, metal, 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 base, acid. It's a neutralization. If this is a neutralization, this would not be a redox reaction. So 100% option D is correct. But why? You can see the charge on magnesium is 0 and the charge on magnesium is +2. 0 to +2. Magnesium is changing from 0 to +2. Increase in charge, oxidation. Increase in charge, oxidation. Or I can say magnesium is oxidized. Then what about HCl? Minus 1, minus 1. Okay. Or you can say, but you're not supposed to check minus 1 or plus 1, because they were saying in a question, which reaction of hydrochloric acid is a redox. So in fact, I'm not supposed to check the charge of magnesium as well, because this is not an acid based reaction. So I would say this is a redox reaction. Simple, simple, short question. So see this one. Again, this is a good question, conceptual question.
Sir, is it D?
Uh, D. Okay. Liquid to solid. Liquid to solid, do you think that is this a chemical change or a physical change? Yep,
Chemical.
it's not a chemical change, it's a physical change. Only the
Oh,
state is changing. Only the state is changing. Only the state is changing. Nothing. Only the state is going to change. It's not a chemical change. In a chemical change, you would be having a new product. There would be forming something new. What is new? Like whose composition would be totally changed. Like this is nitrogen, this is hydrogen. When they would be reacting, ammonia would be forming. The total composition is changed. It was N2, it's NH3, it was H2, it's NH3. The total composition is changed. It's chemical reaction. So C
sir,
and
is it
D
B?
would not be correct. Then you have to decide between A and B. So what you're saying?
Is it B?
Oh, B. So B means that copper, that is plus 2. Copper, that is plus 2. Copper, that is plus 2. The oxidation number of copper is not changing. How can I say this is a reduction of copper? For the reduction, there should be a decrease in charge. Copper is plus 2, copper is 0, because this is single element is 0 always. Whether this is magnesium, sodium, aluminum, scandium, titanium, vanadium, iron, any of the single metal would be 0. So plus 2 to 0. There is a decrease in charge. So this is reduction. So this is reduction. So that's why A is correct. And if you are thinking, how do you know that this copper is plus 2 and this copper is plus 2? So for sure, for copper oxide, this copper is plus 2. Why? Because oxygen is minus 2. This is understood that oxygen is minus 2. So means that copper oxide, if this is minus 2, if this is plus 2, they would be cancelling each other. There is nothing written on the subscripts. Nothing. 1 and 1. What does it mean? Copper is plus 2. But what about this copper sulfide? What about this copper? The group number for oxygen and sulfur is the same. Sulfur is also minus 2. So copper is plus 2. Cancellation. There is no number. Of course, I can say copper is again plus 2. Plus 2 to plus 2. Number is not changing. When the number is not changing, so this is not a redox reaction. Mhm. Okay. And yeah, see this one.
Sir, is the answer D?
Is the answer D for doctor? Okay. Fe2O3 is reduced. And carbon monoxide, yeah, good one. Good shot. Okay. hmm And okay. This one, 18.
Sir, is it A?
Chlorine is reduced. 0 to -1. Reduced. Reduction is the decrease in charge. 0 to -1 is a decrease in charge. So, yeah, I can say chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions. But what about B? Chlorine is the reducing agent? No. When something gets
No,
reduced,
someone
is an
produces
oxidizing agent.
oxidation.
Yes, so this B is incorrect. Then what about C? Iron 2 are reduced. No, they are oxidized. Increase in charge. Iron 2 ions are
It's a
oxidizing agents.
reducing
So
agent.
yeah, once they are not
Whatever
going
is
to reduce,
oxidized is
first
a
of all,
reducing agent.
that's why A is correct. Yes. Okay. What about this one?
Sir, is it B?
Again, you're wrong. Again, I told you thermal decomposition is not a redox
Oh yeah, it's
reaction.
A.
A, exactly. It's A. And see this one.
Sir, is it A?
Uh, in A, metal is reacting with nitric acid. In B, acid, acid, base,
Base, yeah,
not
and then also C and
redox,
B.
acid, base,
B.
acid,
Okay, and
base. Of course, A is correct. This is the shortcut way to find out the correct answer whenever he is asking like that. And he is going to give you the neutralization reactions as well. So directly you can identify whether the reaction is a redox or not, and then you can tell your final answer. Okay, this one.
Sir, is it C for cat?
Acting as a reducing agent. So you're saying C. You're saying C, right? So copper is plus 2, copper is 0. So means that this is reduced. So
So it's an
acting as,
oxidation agent.
yeah, this is incorrect.
Oh, yes, sir.
Then C is incorrect.
Sir, is it D?
So is it A?
D for doctor. No. Calcium is plus 2. Calcium is plus 2. Incorrect.
So is it B?
B for
No, it's
ball.
A, sir.
A.
A.
Carbon monoxide is changing into carbon dioxide, means that this is getting oxidized. Increase in oxygen when something getting oxidized is a reducing agent. Yes, A is correct. Why not B is correct? Carbon dioxide changes into carbon monoxide, loss of oxygen. Loss of oxygen is reduction. When something gets reduced is an oxidizing agent, but they are asking reducing agent. They are not asking oxidizing agent. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. 24.
Sir, what are transition elements?
Um, Transition elements have different charges. They have different oxidation number. Like sodium is always plus 1. Magnesium is always plus 2. Magnesium is always plus 2. So like transition metals are, let's suppose I have iron. Sometime iron is plus 2. Sometime iron is plus 3. Sometime chromium is plus 3. Sometime chromium is plus 7. So they have different charges. So they have identified, they have basically mentioned the transition metals. But of course, we have to see the correct option in which we can see the different charges. Like if in option A, this is plus 3 and plus 3. You know how? This 3 is the charge of this chromium. This 3 is the charge of this chromium. Both chromium are plus 3. Both chromium are plus 3. So they were saying two different oxidation state. It's not two different. Option A is incorrect. Option A is incorrect. Then I have to check B. Can you tell me the charge of this copper in thin copper oxide? Can you tell me the charge?
Is copper plus 2?
No.
Negative 2?
No.
Is it 1?
Yes, this is one. How? Let me tell you. Copper, that is the sample, that is your X. Oxygen is minus 2 is equal to 0. We have 2 copper. So 2 copper is equal to plus 2. And copper is plus 2 upon 2. That's going to be plus 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what is this? What about this copper? Hmm.
So is it 3?
What is the charge on carbonate? I told you in the last class. -2. I told you -2. So if CO3 is -2 and like the oxidation, like the charge of carbonate is 2, so can you see any number over there? 2? No. Why? Because the
No.
charge of copper is also +2. They are going to cancel each other. So
So
plus
0.
2 and plus 1. Yeah, they are different oxidation number. So yes, this is your correct option. But why not C? But why not C? Zinc sulfide and zinc sulfate. Zinc is +2. Zinc is +2 because the charge on sulfate is also -2. And nickel is +2. Nickel is +2. They're not going to change. They're not going to change. The charge is same. The oxidation number is same. So, so when the oxidation number is same, but they were asking which pair of compounds in two different oxidation states. Therefore, option B is correct. Some questions are quite tricky, so you have to take care it off. Otherwise, you will find the same kind of question like in all the questions they would be asking oxidation, reduction, oxidizing agent, and reducing agent. That's it. And okay.